All right, we're back with another one. 150-point game. The French Buccaneers versus the Brethren of the Coast. We rolled a take and hold, which is effectively no strike points are ignored. You only win if you capture the opponent's ship. So here are the forces. For myself, I have a sloop with 5 veteran Buccaneers back here. I got 6 filibusters with a sailing master in the center here, with my untested French Buccaneer commander. And I have 8 Marins without pistols and a carpenter. The sloop's armed with 6 light cannons.
For the Brethren of the Coast, I've got a English sea commander. He's experienced, and he's in a group of 5 Perdue. And in this section of the sloop here, we have 8 inexperienced marineros and 6 freebooters. And the sloop itself is armed with 6 light cannons as well.
All right, turn 1, activation 1. I got a spade to his club. So I moved the sloop up and just angled it a little bit. And my veteran Buccaneers at the back here took shots at his sail and just hit once. And that's it. And reloaded, sorry. So they proc fast reload on the spade and reloaded to even with their extra action.
So I activated my freebooters at the front with my club. So they had 3 actions. The sloop turned a bit and moved up, and they fired at the front section of the French ship. 6 shots doing 1 hit, but he made the save and failed the fatigue, or the resolve, so got a fatigue.
So turn 1, activation 2, I drew a diamond to his club. And so I activated with my inexperienced marineros. The sloop turned slightly and advanced forward a little bit more, and the marineros fired the broadside cannons over at the front section of the French ship again, causing 2 hits. 1 hit and then 1 additional hit, and then doing 1 casualty of the filibusters as well as 1 casualty to the Marins, causing a fatigue for the Marins, and the filibusters passed their resolve as well.
So for myself, I activated with a club. I activated my filibusters here with my commander in it. They took shots at the sail and missed completely. They reloaded for their other 2 actions back to full. And then I tried to rally the 2 fatigues off of my Marins here and failed both of them.
Turn 1, activation 3. Brethren drew an 11 of hearts to the French's 6 of hearts. So I activated with the Perdue with my commander in them, and the ship angled a bit more and drove up the board. Then the Perdue fired on the front section of the ship, doing one more casualty to the Marins and causing a point of fatigue, and 1 hit on the filibusters, but they made their save and passed their resolve test.
So the damage that he did to me put the fatigue threshold at 3, which broke the unit. So they went prone. Then myself, activating with a heart, I had 1 action because of the fatigue, and I tried to rally, and I only got 1 of their fatigues back, and the sloop just moved up.
All right, so turn 2, activation 1. Brethren drew a spade to the French draw of a club. So I activated with my freebooters at the front of the ship. The ship kind of angled a bit more and drove up the board. They fired their 6 shots, doing 2 casualties to the Marins, or 1 apiece, sorry. 1 to the Marins and 1 to the filibusters. And the Marin failed their fatigue, going to 4 points, and the filibusters passed their resolve test.
Myself, I activated with a club, so I activated my filibuster unit. I fired back on the Purdue, killing one for no fatigue, and reloaded them with their other actions back to full. And for his single command point, the commander rallied the Marins for all of their fatigue.
Yep. Just one more thing to note: the spade procced the freebooters fast reload, which is why they only have one reload marker.
Okay, turn 2, activation 2. I drew a heart to Tyler's diamond. So I went with my Marins, who stood up for their first action. And their second action, they fired the cannons against the rigging of Tyler. I hit 6 times in total with 1 lucky hit. And I ended up doing a critical hit as well. Which resulted in 6 damage and 2 sails and spars damage to his rigging.
And then so my diamond I activated with the Purdue with the commander. The boat moved up 2 inches because of the sails and spar damage. And they ended up taking shots at the freebooters at the back. Buccaneers. And no casualties, but 1 fatigue was caused. Then for command points, he ordered the Marineros to reload the cannons again, and he ordered the freebooters to repair one of the markers for the rigging, which was successful. So we're getting back into it.
So turn 2, activation 3. I drew a 7 of diamonds to Tyler's 3 of diamonds. I activated with my Buccaneers here. My veterans, they fired with the marksman ability against his sails, and I hit 3 times, effectively dropping his rigging down to 1 last hitbox, and I reloaded for their last action.
The only thing I had left to do with my activation was the Marineros. They reloaded the cannons and took some more shots at his hull, doing 4 hits, causing with 1 lucky shot, causing 1 on the table. I was forced to roll on the rigging critical damage table, giving him the sail and spar damage. Killing 2 filibusters, causing 1 point of fatigue, and killing no Marins, and doing 1 fatigue there as well. Turn 3, activation 1, and I drew a spade to his lower spade. It was an 11 to a 2, so I activated with my Purdue with the commander. I turned my sloop into his. I wasn't close enough for a ram, but I was able to reload the Purdue and take 5 shots, doing 1 casualty to the Marins. They probably passed their fatigue, I think. But more importantly, his command point doled out to the Marineros with pistols. They so there was 8 shots there at 0 to 4 inches range. It wasn't a very good first roll, but the second roll ended up doing enough hits to clear 2 more Marineros and 1 more filibuster. And they failed their saves and their resolve tests. So they are both units are now shaken and prone. That was me.
Myself, I activated with a spade. The only effective unit that I had left was my veteran Buccaneers. They just tried to finish the job. So they proc fast reload, and then they marksman for their 2 actions against the rigging, and I brought it down. Yep. So he's effectively immobile, but at what cost?
Yeah. All right. Turn 3, activation 2. The French drew a heart to the Brethren's club. He just rallied the Marins. They couldn't really do anything else. Then I went with the freebooters at the front. They were able to successfully grapple onto the back of his ship, luckily, because they were going to be outrun. They took some pot shots before they charged in. They didn't do anything. Actually, they caused a point of fatigue, but no casualties. Then they charged and killed one, and then did 3 more points of fatigue, putting them at 5. So rendering his only unit effectively crippled, and we decided to call it because everybody's prone
or shaken.
Yeah,
so, I'd say that's pretty decisive there.
Yeah.
So.
Good game. If it wasn't for the scenario special rules of strike points, I think it would be a lot closer than what it looks like, because I was in a mobile ship. My rigging was gone. That was fun.